Welcome back to 3 things that I would change about your website. This week, we're looking at a website for a Michigan elopement photographer. If we haven't met yet, I'm Kate. I'm a brand strategist, website designer, and coach. I help small businesses build websites that sell their services for them so they can break up with the social media hustle and have a base camp for their brand online. Let's jump into this website. We're landing on our homepage to start with, and I will say that I do love that we've got exactly what you do, Michigan elopement photographer, couples and intimate weddings, called out right here on the header. As soon as someone lands on this page, they know that they're in the right spot. I would say that we want to put a more precise location than just Michigan. Even if you serve all of Michigan, Google is going to serve results that are closer first. So having the more specific location in the top is helpful. I do see it here in your footer, but adding that up in your header as well, maybe even just here where we have Michigan elopement photographer for a second time. The first thing, though, that I would change on this website on my 3 things is the font. This script font is really hard to read. And as we scroll down, we can see it's in different sizes, different weights throughout the website. And for one, it's just not very cohesive. And 2, it's hard to read. When we scroll down here to this particular location, this I reads as an L, and somehow my brain read this as location. So thinking through your font choices and making sure that they're readable. I understand that this particular font is in use in your logo. I think you could still use it in your logo. It's still a little hard to read there, but throughout your website content, I want to make sure that people are able to understand what it is that you do and how you serve them. For our second thing, we're hopping over to the services page. On this one, we're particularly looking at the layout and how the design flows. So here we've got a photo on the left, text on the right. And while these elements will move closer together on a smaller screen, you have to look at it at different screens, how different people are viewing it. And in this particular formatting, it is too far apart. There's just too much space here to where your eye doesn't flow from the photo to the text. So it feels a little bit uncomfortable. You feel discomforted as you land on the page. Your eye just doesn't know where to go. A little bit further down the page, we've got the photo a little bit closer to the text and feels a little bit better. But I still would even move them probably closer together or find some way to tie the photo element to the text element so that it flows a little bit better. Bonus tip on this page would be to make these paragraphs of text a little more skimmable. Right now, with the bullet points underneath, that's where your eye goes first. You skip all of this and all you see is the price. We're not able to sell someone by jumping straight to the price. So making sure that this copy up here is more skimmable, easier to read, and conveys who you are, what you do, and why you're different, why they should book you. For the third thing, we're back on our homepage and we're talking more about messaging. I can see that you put in some work figuring out how you differentiate yourself from others and how you stand out and find that connection with your dream clients, but it's getting a little bit buried in the way that you're laying out your messaging. In this section here, we're talking about I, and then jumping into a little bit more about your goal, what the session is like, why it's different, but we're kind of burying the lead, I would say. I think this part here, I'm canceling the days of just telling you to hug your spouse so I can snap a couple pictures. I'm going to provide you with a real date-like experience that will provide you with authentic photos true to your love story. That's the juicy part, right? So what if we turned that into something different, made it a headline and did something like cancel the photo session, let's plan a date instead, and make that the headline and change the order of things to really stop their attention, get that record scratch. And here you are, a photographer telling them to cancel the photo session. You're still going to have a photo session. You're still going to provide photography. You're just doing it in a different way. And that would get their attention and say, oh yes, I don't want a photo session. I want photos. So thinking about it that way, shifting that messaging, that would be my tip number 3. And that wraps us up for 3 things that I would change on this website as a brand strategist, website designer, and website coach. If you're ready for a website that sells your services for you and acts as a base camp for your brand, I'd love to invite you inside Brand Basecamp, where we do just that. You can find the link in my bio. I'd love to chat with you. Talk to you soon.